Not a YouTuber, just like expressing my opinion. And in this one here, I'm going to talk about how black people love white people. And that's the thing. That's why you cannot convince me that black people can be racist. One, we don't have the power to be racist. Two, we love white people so much. A lot of times when you hear racial brickbat from black people against white people, calling them cave people or whatever, it's coming from a place of hurt. It's coming from a place of pain because white people didn't accept us. And that's the thing. And black people are still looking for acceptance from white people, still looking for validation, and still looking for guidance. And I've said this before. The actions of a few white people can outweigh the actions of a million black people. So let's get in it, shall we? Now, as far as me, I love myself. I love my blackness. I love my skin complexion. I think my skin complexion is closer to the color gold, more valuable than a white man's tenfold. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to white people, every ugly thing you can say about a group of people, white people have said about us. Every ugly thing you can do to a group of people, white people have done it to us. And a lot of black people, we're still like white people's loyal hound dogs. I'm scared. I don't know what a lot of black people are going to do when white people are no longer here. When we're no longer under the tutelage of white people because, because they dropped off the face of the earth, or they have moved to a colony on Mars or Jupiter or outer space somewhere. I wonder what they're going to do. But, so we're going to go into it. And when it comes to this, the truth, this truth, speaking the truth, about racism in America, how systematic it is and what white people did to black people. It seems like when a white person gets there and say that, yeah, black people are the way, this way because the government made them this way. When a white person says Malcolm X speaks the truth, then it has a deep impact on black people's eardrums. Because we're like, oh, this white boy is saying the truth. Who gives a fuck? I'm like, it's obvious. I'm like the shit Tim Wise says about white privilege. I give him props for it, but hell, we've been saying that for the longest. These white people that somehow speaking the truth. You know what I mean? It ain't like what they're saying something new. I'm like, what they're saying is fucking obvious. Anybody who has a functional 16-ounce brain should be able to figure it out. White people didn't conquer and colonize the world just so they can be friends with everybody. And that's the thing. And then I go into this whole I'm gonna go back into interracial dating. And I think the volume of interracial dating that goes on in this country is solely determined by white people. Whether it's going to be low or it's going to be high. Black men and black female have, just my observation, has got on their knees and kissed white people's feet. Now let me put black women in the hot seat for a second. Now we all know that there's this guy, I'm not even going to mention his name, who says that he likes chocolate. He likes chocolate like Forrest Gump. I guess just like any other white person, he's been caught stealing and plagiarizing other people's shit. But, this white dude, I heard about him because, black women are going around sharing his post or whatever and things of that nature because a white dude likes him. And I was on this pro-black site, I guess it was, pro-black men and women who love each other. And some black female shared one of the white boys, the chocolate lovers post. And I said something about it because I was deeply disturbed. They said, "Hey man," I said, "Ma'am, this is a conscious page, conscious Facebook. Now Facebook is full of shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? You just call it fake book." But I said, "Why would you share that here? You know what this white dude said, and this white dude stole it from somebody else." And she was like, "Well, it doesn't matter who says it or whatever. Is it the truth or not?" And it was some, that post, that meme about, I guess, a drawing of a black female with an afro, and they're saying your hair reaches up towards the heavens, and things of that nature. And then I put up a hubbub about it, and they kicked me out the group. And I'm like, and I stated something. I'm like, well, what if a black guy was to post something that, a white woman, if a white woman talked about how great black men are and things of that nature, would you just say that, yeah, black men, that white woman is right, black men does leave, she's right about our black men, things of that nature? See, but, a lot of the conscious people that, call themselves gods and goddesses and queens and the earth, kings, they're still looking for validation from a black man. So it doesn't matter how much a black man says to the black women, "Oh, you're beautiful. You're the mother of creation. You are the nexus of the universe." It seems to have more impact as if when a white guy says it. And this whole thing, this whole misconception, or should I say fallacy, of black women getting no attention, getting no love or whatnot. And here comes the white knight. The white knight. I think Jim Jones, that was his code name, White Knight. But the thing is, that's that's a bunch of bullocks. No, the black female gets plenty of attention. I've stated this before, Nobody hollers at women with the same tenacity as the black man. The black man is the king of catcalls. He's constantly hollering, constantly staring at women, things of running up on females. That's why I stated that I don't feel sorry for black men who get caught up in the whole child support system, because I know what the black man did to get that woman. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't just walking down the street and the black woman hit him over the side of the head with a sack full of wooden nickels. And then he's crying, "Oh, she got me for child support." No. I have no sympathy for you. But this whole thing, now you may say the black man's not loyal or whatever, but black females don't say that you don't get attention from black men. I think what it is that black females want attention from other men besides black men. That's my own observation. And they may be like, "Man, why is the black man getting this attention?" And so forth. Even though the black man may be getting the wrong attention, because there's plenty of white women who made their videos, their testimonies on how they're in love with the glistening body of a black man. And I've stated this before. It seems like white females at a slave auction. I think there's a YouTuber by the name of Tyrone Magnus. Matter of fact, I should do a video on that. He got a white woman that he likes parading around, because that's what black men do. When we fucking get a white woman, we love parading them around. So it ain't just you black women. And this goes, because in this video I'm not going to single out black women. I'm talking about black people in general and how we love white people. And that's why I said this before. White people can end crime in the black community virtually overnight if they wanted to. Nothing goes on without the white man permitting it to happen. They can clean up drugs because we do anything they tell us to do. I'm generalizing there. But Tyrone Magnus' girlfriend made a video, and she described the black man just like he was a slave. like he was a buck. She's talking about, oh, he's well endowed. You know what I mean? They got muscles. They're good at eating pussy and all this other stuff. Now, a lot of black men will be flattered by it. They'll be flattered. Oh, white women love us. Look how she's talking about us. No, she's talking about us like we're nothing more than a goddamn sexual object. You know what I mean? She's not talking about, oh, I think the black man is smart. Yeah, you know what I mean? He has very advanced problem solving skills. No. No, we're just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? And that goes into my IR dating. The reason why a lot of white women want black men so they can be the dominant one, have the dominant role. You know, and that's how it is. That's why I think IR dating. This whole concept of interracial dating, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it can exist in another society, but in this society where black people are still childlike mind and white people love manipulating and playing with us, no, just like Nellie Fuller said, it's the relationship. It's similar to the relationship of a child molester and a child. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like white people are just taking advantage of us, you know, and things of that nature. But, you know, going back into that white boy there, people have said, you know the white boy, the chocolate lover. You know, they've said that he's been exposed because he's been copying shit. My thing is, the damage is already done. He already exposed he has exposed a major malfunction, a major mal with the black community and its self-esteem of a lot of black people. You know, and let's face it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and in 2015, going into 2016, you know, we shouldn't be having these conversations because it's not about skin color. It's not about skin complexion. Now, we may think it is, but it's not. I'm like, think about the white man. How did the white man gain power? Is it because of his white skin? Is it because of his European features? No. He gained power by muscle and using his wit. When the white man came across all these lands, the melanated people didn't see him and say, oh, well, you're our gods. We love your white skin, and bow down to him. No, the white man had to instill fear into him. You know what I mean? He had to muscle them. You know what I mean? That's what he did. You know what I mean? A lot of it he had to use his wits, but he had to use brawn. And he just killed people and took their land. That's what he does. That's how he's enslaved. And when he went into Africa, it wasn't like black people was like, oh, wow, you white people, oh, we love your blonde hair, your blue eyes, let us be your slaves. No, he took us by force. And that's the thing. And so therefore, black people may think that they're going to get ahead or they're going to better themselves if they shackle up with a white person, if they're light-skinned themselves, or they're going to have light-skinned children and kids with that good feature and things of that nature. Instead of trying to procreate with somebody who you think has good features, why not procreate with somebody that's smart so your kids will end up smart? you know what I'm saying? Just a thought, because, you know, when I worked inside the jail, I seen plenty of dudes, light-skinned with green eyes that looked like they was mixed or whatever, and they wasn't worth shit, you know what I mean? They was in jail, they were stupid as hell. I guess their light-skinned and good hair couldn't get them by in society. That's why they got to sit in that fucking cage like that. You know, so that's why I said procreate with somebody smart. Procreate with somebody that's going to give you security and a better way of life. But, you know, we'll see somebody, but people want mixed kids. Which, you know, it's funny because the white man is supposedly he's his great father or whatever. We know that there are black women who are single mothers with mixed kids. And I've stated this before. Poor men sometimes make poor fathers. You know, men who are educated, who got something going for themselves, make better fathers. You know, now you may say, well, the white man got a lot going for himself and whatnot. Yeah, but not all white men, you know, and so forth. And this also goes for black men. You know, like Ty Diggs, you know, and things of that nature. Wanting his kid to be considered interracial. Well, you know, that's his prerogative. You know, if he wants his kid to be considered mixed and not black, you know, I'm like, yeah, you know, you got to respect his mother. If his mother's white and he was inside a white woman, you know, and things of that nature. But it's how society is, you know what I'm saying, what category they're going to put him in. You know, so it's how society is going to look at him and judge him. You know, so therefore, here in America, you know, I can understand in the islands or whatever, but here in America, we got this. There's a this contrast there. I'm like, we know what's black and what's white. You know, I'm like, there are some people here. You know what I'm saying? And it does seem like a lot of the, not all, definitely not all, but a lot of the mixed people. A lot of the light-skinned black people that have those so-called good features, they love being black. You know what I mean? They don't want to be confused. You know, I remember I went on a date with a black female, and she had straight hair, light skin with straight hair. I asked her, and she mixed, and she was like, "No, I'm not mixed. I'm black. I'm black. My parents are black. I love being black. I'm not, you know," and things of that nature. Maybe she was mixed, and maybe she just said, "Hey, I want to be black." Because that's the thing. So when we have mixed kids, and a lot of self-hating Negroes will want their mixed kid to be referred to as mixed. When white people call that mixed kid a nigger, and he has to come across the same racial flim-flam, a regular black person, which here in America, what is a regular black person? Has to go through. Yeah, it may change their perspective on things. Now, we're going to go into skin bleaching. First of all, black people, don't bleach your skin. You know what I mean? You look like a fucking moron. A self-hating moron. And you don't look right. You know what I mean? I don't know if people are using that cheap skin bleaching cream. You know, we know Charlemagne the God does it. Well, his skin complexion was kind of fucked up though. But Sammy Sosa, there's some reggae singer. There's a lot of men and women doing it, and it makes them look unnatural. They don't even look light skinned. They look like a fucking character out of a goddamn Tim Burton movie. You know, Beetlejuice or Johnny Depp in Dark Shadows. If you're gonna lighten your skin, at least try to make it look natural. You know, rather you look like something that just rose from the fucking coffin. And it makes absolutely no sense, you know, whatsoever. And that's the thing. And so, therefore, a lot of black people, black men and females, see, men, you know, they don't show their emotions as much as women do. You know, that's the thing. So, a lot of people don't feel that. We feel that us black men, we can take it. We can, you know, no. We know people like Kevin Hart has low self-esteem because he's dark-skinned and things of that nature. So it's affecting both genders. And then, you know, when white people, you know, now as far as, you know, like black people being ugly, or particularly black females being ugly, who was the first to call us ugly? It was white people. And now we seek validation from white people, these same people that have besmirched the image of black people. We have to look for them for redemption. You know what I mean? I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. That somebody calls you ugly, you need that same somebody to say that you're attractive for you to feel that have good self-esteem. That makes absolutely no sense. You know, and a lot of black men echo the racist brickbat from white men. You know, it was white men that was, you know, what was that psychologist, that doctor or whatever who put out that report, that statement that black females have a whole lot of testosterone, that they look manly. And of course there's a lot of black men black female bashers, black men who's echoing those same sentiments, you know, whatever, black female looking like men and masculine and things of that nature. But it was the white men that's putting out that jargon. You know, it was the white men that put Michelle Obama's face on a gorilla. Saying white people, not just white men, but white people saying Michelle Obama was a transgender or whatever. There may be some self-hating Negroes that follow up behind that, you know, but yeah, so that's the crazy part, that we're looking at these same white people to validate our beauty, to tell us that we're attractive and that we're gorgeous, you know, that we're desirable. I'm telling you, I say a lot of black people, our mind state is like children. You know, we're trapped in a childlike mind state, and we're worried about the wrong thing instead of worrying about whether we're attractive or not, or whether light skin, dark skin. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of work to do in the black community. You know, we need to focus on that first. I understand that skin whitening cream is not just a black thing. There's people in India that skin whitening cream is very big in India and other places where you got light skin, dark skin problems or whatever. You know, because somehow people think, you know, being close to white is you're enlightened or whatever, and dark skin you're closer to the dirt and the mud, and you know, and black people just looked at it as something that is very primitive. But a lot of these other coaches still know what they got to do. Like, oh, you know, we got problems with self hate, but we still trying to build our nation up. We still got to build our country up. We still got to build our military up. You know what I'm saying? And then deal with this little malfunction here. But as far as black people, we got a lot of work to do, and we're stayed focused on the dumb shit. That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and never stop learning.